live event. Ready, Julie? The event is starting.
Yes.
All right.
Just take a moment here to get everyone settled in. Thank you guys for joining us today for this special practice. So this class, the 60-minute class today that I'm going to be teaching is grounding in gratitude, which is really one of my favorite ways to practice. I think it's really powerful to have an intention every time you practice, and sometimes we feel like at a loss for what that should be. So if I have a day where I'm not sure of what my intention should be, my default is pretty much always gratitude. Reminding myself to be thankful for everything that I have, and I don't mean that in a cliche kind of way. I mean that in a really deep and profound way, a way that you live your life from the seat of your heart. And I think especially this time of year, holidays approaching, we find ourselves very busy, and we find ourselves very caught up in the perfection of everything and how we see it all going, and we forget what we're really supposed to be doing this time of year, which is slow down, spend time with family, and really just have a sense of awe that here we are alive in these human bodies, getting to spend even just another breath with people that we love or with ourselves who should be at the top of your list for who you love. So today's class, we are using 3 props. If you don't have the specific yoga props, you can find stuff around your house. So I have a yoga block, which we'll be using. I have a yoga blanket. Any blanket will do just fine as well. And then I also will be using a bolster. As you can see here, I'm not using actually a bolster. I took a cushion off the sofa. So you can do the same here too. But for grounding, I find it's very nice to have some props to help us get into positions where we really can let go. So we're going to start first in a comfortable kneeling position. If kneeling's uncomfortable for you because of your knees, by all means you can set the legs out in front of you however is comfortable. You can also take a blanket, which I'm going to do today just because it's extra comfy, and you can put it just at the back of the legs in between the knees. And that's just going to take a little bit of the pressure off of the knees here for you. So once you find yourself in a comfortable spot, we're going to let the hands just rest in the lap. And it can be palm face up, palm face down. If there's a specific mudra you like to work with, you can pick that mudra. Let the shoulders relax away from the ears. Feel yourself already grounding down through the sit bones and through the tailbone. And then turn your awareness to your breath. I like to try to notice the qualities of my breath as I start practice. Noticing the depth, the texture, the sound, the rate. Just allow yourself to get very in tune in the present moment, not letting yourself get pulled to and from. Finding yourself at home in this physical body that you have been gifted with. Again, feel the seat ground down even more, like little roots are coming out from the tailbone into the earth. Without racking your brain or making a long list, think of one thing that you are incredibly grateful for today, and just the first thing that pops up in your mind is fine. You might have a word for it, you might see a face, it might be a feeling that you get. Keep it simple to make it powerful. And let that image or that word or that feeling move down through the back of your throat and settle into your heart center. And once it arrives, feel the weight of it. The want you to turn both palms face up, just out in front of you. And I want in your one hand you to be holding that thing in which you are grateful for today. And in the second hand, I want you to leave it open so that you can receive gratitude, showing the world that you are open and ready to receive. With an inhale, reach the palms up towards the ceiling, joining the hands together in prayer position. With an exhale, pull the hands in prayer down to the heart. Your next inhale, go ahead and open your eyes. Bring yourself up off this kneeling position. If you had a blanket under your legs, you can remove that now. We're going to come into a wide leg twisted child's pose. So I want you to bring your big toes together and then take your knees as far apart as is comfortable for you. And then move the hips down to the heels. If this is at all difficult for you to do, you can grab your bolster and place it under you so that you can sit down a little easier and take a little bit of the weight off the knees. With an exhale, you're going to start to fold forward from the hips, just slowly lowering yourself down to the ground. And allow the forehead to touch the ground. Once again, feel the weight in the hips. And from that weight, feel how you can elongate the spine. And start to walk your hands over to the right. You can walk them over pretty far. The further you walk them, the more intense this pose will be. You'll take the left hand palm face up, thread it underneath the right hand, and then see if you can bring your left ear down to the mat. This would be another spot that if you can't quite bring the left ear down, a bolster or something, a pillow underneath the head could help you relax the neck. Use each breath to settle you into this posture more. Continue to feel rooted through the sit bones. Relaxing the face and focusing your intention again, each breath on that picture of gratitude. And it's fine for it to change, to manifest as we practice. It often does. If you'd like to, last few breaths, you could take the right hand, bring it behind you, taking the palm back towards the left thigh, or tucking it into the top of your pants. Next exhale, release the right hand. If you bound it behind you, stay low to the ground. Release both hands. And then with an exhale, walk them over to the left. Threading the right hand palm face up. Coming down onto the right shoulder. And once again, finding the breath. Relaxing any areas in the body that you feel like tension is starting to move back in. And although an inner dialogue can start to happen here, see if you can keep any such dialogue quiet. It doesn't mean stopped, just quiet, almost like falling asleep to your favorite movie or listening to a nice song as you rest. Let the dialogue be easy and kind, filled with compassion and gratitude as we stay for the next few breaths. And if you'd like to add the left hand, wrap it behind you, you can. With your next exhale, release the top hand if you bound it. Bring yourself back through center. Walk the hands forward one last time. Get a nice big stretch through the spine. And then inhale, start to walk the hands back up towards you. Bring the knees together. Go ahead and come up onto the knees. Extend the right leg out to the side. Set the heels about in line with your left knee. You can flex the right toes up towards the ceiling if you'd like. We're trying to get into the hamstring. So for some people, kind of crawling forward and moving the hips back, you can start to feel that opening in the back of the leg. For other people, you want to slide the leg out further. It kind of depends on your hips and what feels the best for you today. Wherever you're at, can you keep the chin coming towards the chest just slightly, so that the back of the neck stays nice and relaxed. Inhale, bring the hands back towards you. Take the left hand outside the left knee, and then inhale, sweep the right arm up over your head. So take a nice big stretch through this right side body. Exhale, take the right hand down, bring the right knee back to center, and then extend the left leg out to the side. Again, adjusting the hips, sometimes moving them back feels good. Getting a nice big stretch in the left hamstring. Maybe even into the calf, depending on how much you flex the toes back. And then slide the right hand over outside the right leg. Reach the left arm up and over the ear, hips up towards the ceiling. You can look up if that feels okay for your neck, or look down. Exhale, take the left hand to the top of your mat. Spread the fingers wide, heading back to downward facing dog. Keeping it really easy as you begin. Walking the legs out if that would feel good. Stretching the wrists. Doing whatever you need to do here in down dog to start to get comfortable. And inhale, look forward, step your right foot between the hands. Drop the left knee down. And then just push the hips forward. Noticing each and every breath that you have here. Welcoming each one with a sense of gratitude. Start to walk the hands over to the right, getting a nice big stretch through the left side body, keeping the chin in close to the chest. Exhale, start to walk the hands over to the left. Pick the left knee up. Turn your toes so they're facing the long edge of your mat. Inhale, look forward. And then exhale, fold in between the legs. around the navel, slightly in towards the spine. And then just keep walking the hands back behind you. I want you to have the palms face up though. Squeezing the inner ankles towards each other. And then push into the backs of the hands. Feel how that opens your shoulders. And with the palms up here again, we can be reminded to be open to any new gratitude that comes our way. Letting ourselves be filled with the gratitude that is just floating around in the universe looking for a home. Exhale, release the hands, walk them to the top of the mat, turn the right toes forward, bend the front knee again, drop the left knee down. This time we're going to reach back for the left foot, pulling the heel in, close, getting a stretch for the quad. If you need to put a block underneath the right hand, you can, or walk the right foot out to the side more and take your right hand up to the thigh. If you're having a hard time balancing like this, just keep scooting the right foot out to the side. It'll give you a wider base. Welcoming every sensation, even ones that you find difficult. Reminding ourselves that we don't necessarily have to be grateful for just things that are easy and pretty and nice. We can be grateful for challenges. We can be grateful for disappointments and losses. Grateful for all human experience. Set the left foot down. Plant the hands, downward facing dog. Spreading your fingers nice and wide. Making sure the feet are at least hip bone width apart. Inhale, rock forward to plank pose. Set your knees down to the ground. Rather than chaturanga here, we're going to lower our chest and our chin. Hands and elbows stay the same as they would in chaturanga. So keep the elbows in close. Lower your chest and your chin down to the ground. Roll the shoulders back. Feel as the heart moves down into the earth more as you do that. Then take the tops of the feet to the ground and slide through, coming up into a nice gentle cobra pose. Exhale, bring the hips back to the heels, forehead to the mat. You can turn the palms up here if you'd like again. Child's pose, 3 breaths. When you're ready, bring yourself back up and into downward facing dog. With an inhale, step your left foot between the hands, setting your right knee down, coming into a low lunge, allowing the hips to move forward. You can keep the hands down on the ground if you want. You're welcome to bring them up to heart center. Start to feel a grounding sensation in the hips, and you feel like you've lost a bit of that need to have effort in this pose, and things have started to settle in. You can start to walk the hands over to the left, getting a nice big stretch through the right side body. And then begin to walk the hands over to the right. Set the right heel down, parallel your feet now to the other side of the mat. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold in. This time I want you to grab your elbows underneath you. Start to pull the elbows down to the mat. They may touch, they may not. Let your chin come in towards the chest. Rock your weight forward slightly. Maybe scoot the feet out a little wider. You have a block easily accessible. It's really nice if you're able to put the block underneath the forehead. Let the forearms to the ground. Nice long sips of air in the nose. Out the nose. you're ready to release, if you're using the blocks, set it to the side. Walk your hands forward, turning the toes, coming back into that low lunge position with the right knee on the ground. And then either leaving the left hand down on the ground or to a block and bringing the right knee in, or bending the right knee and bringing the heel in. That feels like you're too low or you're straining too hard here. Forearm up to the thigh could give you a little more space. And really, if there's anything you can do that feels like you're generating more space in the body in yoga, that's what we want. Whether you're using props or not, or needing to adjust your stance, we're always looking for more space. This is probably better. Let the hips sink in. Let your mind continue to tell you stories of gratitude and love and thankfulness. Exhale, release the right hand down. Plant the hands, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward to plank pose, set the knees down. Chest and chin lower to the ground. Roll the shoulders back, feel the heart plug into the earth. Tops of the feet to the ground. Pull yourself up and through, cobra pose. Exhale, let the hips touch the heels. Balasana, child's pose, maybe turn the palms face up. Palms face down, inhale, rise to all fours. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Then inhale, look between your hands and really slowly, like you're moving through water, I want you to start to walk the feet forward towards the hands. Bending the knees as you need to. Bringing yourself into a forward fold at the top of the mat. The neck be really long here. Chin in towards the chest, navel in towards the spine. Take your right ankle and cross it behind the left. Continue folding in. And then step the left foot to the back of the mat, bending the right knee. Getting the right knee right over the ankle, setting the hips heavy, squeezing inner hips, inner thighs in, and then inhale, rise up, high lunge. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. As you inhale, bring the hands into the heart, bringing in love and gratitude as the thumbs touch the heart center. With an inhale, sweep the arms up again. Exhale, new piece of gratitude to your heart. 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bring the arms up, gather up. Piece of gratitude. Exhale, bring that into your heart. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, hands come to heart. Set the hands down either side of the front foot. You're going to start to straighten the right leg. May or may not go straight. If you feel at any point like you're hyperextending into the knee, keep a little micro bend. Or if you just feel like you're jamming into the joint, lift the right heel up, engage the calf, then straighten the leg and set the right heel down. A block could be really handy here again. It feels like you could create a little more space. Chin in towards the chest. Heart moving towards the leg. And start to turn the right toes to the right. You may not have to do very much of this to start to feel getting into the right IT band. So if it just takes a little turn, stay there. For some of us, we can continue to walk the hands to the right, maybe setting the left heel push my hips back, my thigh bones, the femurs are crossed, and then lower down until I feel a nice big stretch through the low back, and especially into that outer right leg. Walk the hands back to the center, bending the right knee, setting the left knee down to that low lunge position again, hips forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring your hands to heart. Take the left elbow outside the right thigh, push the hands to heart center. You may feel good with the left knee down. You may decide to lift the left knee up, coming into a twisted high lunge. Exhale, release the hands down. Swing the right leg back, 3-leg down dog. Keep the right knee bent though. Lift the heel towards your butt and the knee towards the ceiling. Push into the hands more. And then roll the ankle in circles. Inhale, pull the knee in towards the nose, and then swing the right leg underneath the left arm. Come onto the outer edge of the foot, and come onto the inner edge of your left foot so that the heel's down on the ground. Pick the left arm up, fallen triangle. Exhale, set the left hand down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between the hands again like you're moving in slow motion. Pick the feet up one at a time, walking them to the front of your mat. Once you're there, lengthen the spine and then exhale, fold in. After a few breaths in our forward fold, we'll take the left ankle, cross it behind the right, continue folding. And then with the next breath, step the right foot to the back of the mat, bending the left knee, getting the left knee right over the ankle, engaging the legs. And when you feel like you found balance, inhale, sweep the arms up, high lunge. So again, flowing with the arms here, letting the mind move into a state of recognizing gratitude. Inhale, bring the arms up. Palms touch at the top of that inhalation. Exhale, nice and slow, drawing all of those feelings of gratitude down and into your heart. 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Nice deep breaths. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Take the hands either side of the front foot or on a block inside the foot. Start to straighten the left leg, being mindful of knowing if you need to keep a little bend in the knee so you don't hyperextend, or doing that trick, lifting the heel and engaging the calf. Once you found a good spot for yourself, heart moves forward, hinge from the hips, lower down. Turning the gaze inward, maybe even closing the eyes here. Letting yourself be fully embodied in this moment. Feel like practicing gratitude is really one of the best forms of self-love we have as humans. It really changes your life. Start to walk the hands to the left. Turn the left toes out. That might be it. Or maybe you keep going, taking the outer edge of the right foot to the mat, moving the hips back, holding as much as you need to until you feel a very much alive sensation in the outer left leg. Again, if you find something challenging, welcome it. Be grateful for that feeling. What can you learn from it? How can you grow? What good treasures come out of that struggle? Start to walk your hands forward. Repositioning the legs into low lunge, right knee down, hips push forward. This time, hands come up. Exhale, bring them to heart center. Right elbow comes outer edge of the left thigh. Push the palms towards heart center, rotating just from the mid and the upper back as you look back over your left shoulder. Maybe with the toes tucked, you lift the right knee up. Smile. Exhale, release the hands down. Swing the left leg back, 3-leg down dog, but keep the knee bent. Heel in towards the butt, knee towards the ceiling. Roll the ankle a few times each direction. Hold the knee in towards the chest. You're going to extend the left leg under the right arm, coming onto the outer edge of the left foot. You can set the right heel down. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, right hand to the ground. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward, plank pose. Lengthening the tailbone towards the heels, pushing through the hands. Pausing here just a moment longer. Exhale, set the knees down. Keep the toes tucked as you move your hips back towards the heels. Forehead to the ground. Child's pose. Only this time we're going to bend the elbows, take the hands in prayer position, and bring the hands right at the base of the skull. Letting the hands add a bit of weight. Let the tip of your nose touch the mat so that your third eye right in the middle of the forehead is touching the ground. Take 3 more breaths here. Exhale, bring the hands down to the ground. And then start to walk them back towards you, taking the tops of the feet to the ground, crossing the ankles, and rocking back to sit. We're going to extend both legs straight out in front of us. I want you to grab your pillow or bolster, and maybe your block too. So depending on the flexibility that you have today in your hamstrings, you can bring the bolster or pillow up as much as you need. And the idea is to rest our heads and chests on the bolster as we fold. So for some of us, you can just place the bolster down and fold. I like to turn my head one way. I'll tell you when it's halfway through and you can turn the other way. A block, right, can help kind of boost it up so that you can get that same feeling of rest here. This is not the deepest stretch into the hamstrings possible. That's not what we're after. Reminding ourselves that this is a grounding practice. I like to be in contact with as much as possible. So trying to stay in touch with the ground or any props we can use. slowly start to feel that unfolding happen through the back body, through the back legs. Sometimes allowing yourself to not go to the full extent of your flexibility, you can actually become much more aware of the small little things that happen as the body starts to stretch. If you had your head turned one way, turn and look the other way. So by moving slow into these stretches, I think what happens is it allows us to be more mindful of the small occurrences that are happening. It's a really lovely metaphor for what happens in life when we decide to move slowly, to not be in such a rush, to be supported throughout our day. We really allow ourselves to see so much more of the intricacies of life that are all around us all the time. And when you start to become aware of these things, it's really hard not to be grateful. It's really hard not to be in awe of what the universe puts forth in front of us every day. Just a few more breaths here. And then with an inhale, start to bring yourself up. We'll use the bolster again in a moment, but you can just set it to the side. You're going to hug the right knee in towards the chest, and then step it over the thigh, over the left thigh. Keep hugging the knee in. So you have a couple options here, again, depending on your hips, or what would feel good. You can take the knee into the chest right here, hug it in with the left arm, and come back into a nice twist, which could feel really good after that forward fold. For some of us, it'll feel even better to take the right knee down more on top of the left knee and fold again, but rather than trying to move the heart forward, allow the chin to come into the chest and really root down through the low, through the sit bones, through the hips, until you feel a nice big opening in the low back. Just remind yourself there's no right or wrong in yoga. So if something feels better one day than the other, let yourself do it. Everything I'm showing is really just an offering. So if you can think of something around the same idea but a little different, by all means, do that. A few more breaths here, either in the twist or in the forward fold, or in something totally new that you just made up. Inhale, bring yourself up. Extend the right leg by the left. Take the hands back behind you, fingers facing your feet. Squeeze the elbows together, point the toes, lift the hips up a little, or maybe lift them up a lot, dropping the head back. Exhale, chin in towards the chest, lower the hips. This time, left knee bends, heel in nice and close, then step it over the right leg. Again, either hug the knee in, find a nice, easy twist, looking back over the shoulder, or knee on top of knee, right toes flex towards the face, folding forward, more for the sensation in the low back and in the very deep belly of the hamstring. About 3 more breaths or so here. When you're ready, inhale, bring yourself up. Again, take both feet straight out in front of you. Point the toes, hands behind you. Fingers face the feet. Squeeze the elbows together. Lift the hips up. Maybe drop the head back. Smile. Exhale, lower it down. Grab your bolster again. You might want a block too, or a blanket. You'll kind of see where we're heading. So I'm going to turn so you can see me. You're going to open your legs up about 90 degrees, maybe a little wider. Doesn't have to be the fullest that you can open your legs, right? Something where you feel a little stretch, but nothing too crazy. You're going to take your pillow or bolster to start, and you're going to bring it towards the inner edge of your right leg. You're going to try to set your elbow down onto the pillow, and then see if you can cradle your head in the hand there. If that didn't work, right, build yourself as high of a little tower as you need so that you can get into that, right? For some of us, you might not even want the whole bolster. Maybe you want a block and a pillow, or a block and blanket, whatever you need, so that you feel like you're in a nice stretch, but it's not the deepest stretch you've ever been in, right? We're going to stay here for a little bit, and we're going to add into this side body. So you're going to start to roll the left shoulder back, and then extend the left arm over the ear, bending the elbow so that the elbow's kind of resting on the head. And you should feel immediately a really big opening in the left side body. Close the eyes. Welcome the breath. There's an old saying that says that in life we're given a certain amount of breaths the day we're born. And for each of us it's different. But that number of breaths doesn't change. And so, by lengthening the breath, we can actually learn to lengthen our life. It's kind of a nice way to look at it. And when you know that your number of breaths in this human body is limited, it does do something to help you be grateful for each one. It curbs your need to rush. Just as a little side note, if the left hand at all starts to get tingly here, which it will for some people in this position, just lower the left hand, bring it behind you, and again, either tuck it into the top of your pants so it can rest there, or if you have really long monkey arms like me, you can bring it all the way around to your right hip and let it rest there. can sit tall here in the center. Let your hands come back by your sides. Let your body kind of take in that big opening. I like to notice the difference in my sides as I do that. If there's something that would feel better, if your legs are uncomfortable, or a side you need to twist, you need to bend your knees for a moment, do anything that you need to do. This is processing time. And when you're ready, scoot whatever you had for the other side, for the first side, over to the other side. But also remembering that both sides are different. So try what you had on the other side. And if it feels like you need to adjust, see if you can get creative with what you have around you so that you can once again bring the left elbow onto the support that you have and the head to rest. So if you're posing for one of those cute little third grade pictures. And then take your right arm up and over, at least to start. Letting the hand kind of rest at the back of the head. Moving the elbow back as you lift and bring your right ribs back. See if you can visualize here thousands of little tiny roots coming out through the backs of the legs, up the heels, all the way up into the sit bones and the pelvis. And all of these little roots, when you are letting yourself have this moment to ground and to be still, they're strengthened. They grow, they take nourishment from the earth. These roots are what provide you the ability to stay calm as we move through the day, to give you strength and to feed you, even though you're no longer physically connected to the ground. Just like you can take, a plant and take it away from its roots. It's really dangerous, right, to do that. You can kill a plant really quick, but if you have something ready for it, you have a little container and you can put it in water or into some sort of rooting thing, right? It can survive and it can actually grow and grow and grow, even away and remove, because those roots are still there, right? It still has the root system intact. So every time you come into a grounding practice like this, it's very much like giving your roots a chance to get back to the soil that they first were born in, right? We're all children of the universe. And then when we leave, we have the strong root system intact so that we don't just wither. About 10 more breaths. If you haven't already and you need to, release the hand down behind you. You can. After 10 breaths, or when you feel like you've spent about equal amount of time on both sides, bring yourself back. Take the hands behind you. Try to stay relatively still. A lot of times you can actually feel the energy move through the body when you give yourself a moment to process that. Like a flood chin to start to drop towards the chest. And then really slowly, just start to take the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then bring the chin back into the chest, left ear to the left shoulder. And just kind of like a pendulum, start to stretch the back of the neck, the upper shoulders. And then bring the chin back through center, so letting it just kind of rest towards the chest again. Start to move the ribs to the right and to the left. You could do little circles. Just kind of stirring the energy around. But staying connected, staying grounded here. When you're ready, props to the side. We'll come back to them in just a moment. Take the soles of your feet together. Two options here. Either Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet really close to you. If your knees are up high like mine and you feel like you're kind of becoming, like slouched and into your shell, grab your blanket or a block or a bolster or whatever you need. Prop yourself up so that you can start to tilt the pelvis forward. You'll feel it. You're barely sitting on the blanket, right? And then you'll really start to feel a little more open without so much of this slouching. You could also, if you want to get more into the outer hips, take the feet out wide. The soles of the feet are still together and fold forward, and you'll feel how that gets into your outer hips. So kind of what feels good for you today, or if you know that there's something that you should be working on, outer hips, inner hips, your pick. Practice it again. This practice again and do the opposite. And you could most definitely take a block here, right? And let your head rest on the block. So if you do come back and practice this class again, have a lot of things nearby. When I do a grounding practice, I have random things. I mean, they're just in my living room, and I'll come to them and grab them as I practice. It might not even be a yoga prop, but just anything so that you can be more in contact is going to help really ground you, which is vital at any time of year. But I feel like when it's cold and when you're busy with holidays and family, it's just nice to feel like you're supported. About 5 or so breaths here. When you're ready, start to bring yourself back. And everything as soft as possible. I'm going to come into our final pose. So we're going to do a little breathing exercise in a variation of Shavasana. It's a very supported version of it. So I'm going to use all 3 of the props that I had, but you can also just kind of use what you have around you and find something that works. So the basic setup, if you have it, is block at the top of your mat. I like it on like a medium height. If you have it too high, I feel like it falls quite a bit. And then you're going to put your pillow or your bowl You'll roll it up into just kind of a small little roll, little Swiss roll. You're going to sit not on your pillow, but just to the edge of it, and then lie back. At the same time, get your little rolled up blanket, and you're going to put it right underneath your knees. Feet out about hip width, they're a little wider, and you'll lie back. And it just feels so good. So if you don't have all of these things available, you could definitely just lie flat on your back with some sort of roll under the knees. That feels amazing too, right? You wouldn't have to have a block underneath the pillow. Any pillow at all can just give you this little bit of extra opening and support. So you just kind of play around with that, getting yourself into a comfortable position. And we're going to practice here for the first part of this Shavasana. We're going to practice a pranayama that's called alternate nostril breathing. And so you're going to take, you can use either hand. You'll take a hand, and you're going to place your index finger and your middle finger on your third eye, right in the center of your forehead, in between the eyebrows. Then you're going to take your thumb, and you're going to cover one nostril. And you'll take a nice big breath in through the open nostril. Then you'll use your other free fingers to cover the nostril you just breathed in, and you'll exhale out through the right nostril, or the one that you started with, right? Exhale out. Inhale again. Cover that nostril. Exhale out. Breathe in. Cover that nostril. Exhale out. Inhale. Cover with the thumb. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. You'll just keep going in that pattern. One exhale and one inhale through each side. We're balancing energy in the body, working with the nadis, or these energy channels basically in the body, and evening them out when we tend to get stressed or feel the opposite of grounded. Right? We tend to get all the energy into one side of our body. And so by using this, it's actually super soothing for the nervous system and can help you to feel more balanced and grounded. And this can be practiced anytime, right? You don't have to be lying down. It doesn't have to be at the end of a yoga session. I use it a lot when I'm driving in traffic, or if I just need a quick break from my kids. I'll shut myself in the bathroom and practice this, and it's just amazing how you feel when you're finished. You can continue doing this for as long as you'd like. When you feel like you're finished with the pranayama and you just want to come to rest in Shavasana, you just want to end with an exhale out the side you didn't start with. So if you started on an inhale on the right side, exhale out through the left. And then you can let the hands rest by your sides, palms face up, once again in that shape of receiving. Really allowing yourself to be in the body, to be embodied, to welcome every sensation, to notice every sensation. And be so almost infatuated with all of these experiences that you can't help but to smile and to be grateful for being alive in this moment, in this body, right now. Take your hands, palms up, letting the fingers curl in naturally. Set your inner eye once again on something that you are grateful for. Let it be profound. Remind yourself that gratitude is a choice. It's not a matter of the things that you have around you or the experiences that you have. Those are all different. But each one of us can choose to be grateful every day. Each one of us can learn to slow down, to appreciate everything that comes our way, to learn from it, to grow from it, and most importantly, just to simply see it. Take a moment right now to promise yourself that during this busy time, you will slow down. You will stop making lists, striving for perfection. You will simply hug the ones you love closer to you. That you will appreciate everything that comes your way. And send gratitude back into the world so that each one of us may feel a little more loved and a little more supported. Go ahead and bring your hands together at your heart center, taking the thumb right to your sternum, that bone right at the center of our chest. Bow the head. Namaste. I want to thank you all for practicing with me today. It means the world to know that there are people out there that are, practicing yoga and doing something really good for themselves. Out of this gratitude, anyone that is watching one of these live classes that we're doing today, you can find yourself with a $25 Amazon gift card. Just send me an email at yoginiology@gmail.com. That's yoginiology@gmail.com. And just make the title Grounding in Gratitude, and then tell me you want the $25 gift card. And the first person to do that, I will send you an Amazon gift card for the holiday season. You can do a little shopping this weekend. So thank you all again. Please be in touch with me. Let me know what you think, what you want to see. And I can't wait to practice with you again next week.